Hello everybody and welcome to another story lab. Today we are going to be doing a vocabulary story lab. So we're going to look at this picture and think, can you remember the new words and say what they mean? So the boy and the girl are reading a story about a cat and they learned a new word. It was calico. They learned that calico meant it was a type of cat that has spots on its fur. So as you read today, you're going to look at this picture and it's going to help you to remember the new words that I teach you in the book we are going to read. Okay, so I'm going to hang that right up there so you can remember to look at it as I read. Today's book is called Corduroy. It's by somebody named Dan Freeman. And when we read today, you're going to think of two different words. We're going to think of the word department. Department is a small section of a store. So when you hear the word department, you're going to remember small section, and you're going to make this pinching gesture so you remember it means small, a small department, a small section of the store. You're also going to think of another word called escalator. An escalator is a kind of stair that moves up and down. So when you hear the word escalator, I want you to take your hand again and go up and down. Escalator goes up and down, all by itself, right? So those are two really big words, department and escalator. And I want you to really try hard to remember them because I'm going to be pausing as I read. I'm going to need your help to remember the words too. Okay? So here we go. Corduroy by Dan Freeman. Corduroy was a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Oh, did you hear one of our words? I heard the word department. Remember, department means a small section of a store. So Corduroy lives in a small section. Remember? Day after day, he waited with all of the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, there's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button on one of his shoulder straps." Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. Poor Corduroy. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go and I'll see if I can find it." Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator and up he went. Remember our word escalator? It's when it's this type of stair that moves up and down all by itself. Help me, ready? Up and down, up and down. Here he goes. Could this be a mountain, he wondered? I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. He stepped off the escalator. Oh, remember? Escalator goes up and down, up and down. As it reached the next floor, and there, before his eyes, the most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. This must be a palace, Corduroy gasped. I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace. He wandered around admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed." And up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. At once, he saw something small and round. "Why, here's my button," he cried, and he tried to pick it up. But, like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. He yanked and pulled with both paws until, pop, off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. bang into a tall floor lamp. Over it fell with a crash. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. Oh, there's that word again, everybody. Escalator. Remember, an escalator is the type of stair that moves up and down. So remember, up and down, up and down. Now, who in the world did that? He exclaimed. Somebody must be hiding around here. Uh-oh. He flashed his light under and over the sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all. And there he saw 2 fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. Hello, he said. How did you get upstairs? The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator. Oh, there's our word again. Up and down, escalator. It moves up and down by itself. He set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Oh, there's that word department again. Remember, a department is a small section of a store. A small section. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning. And there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. I'm Lisa, she said, and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I can bring you home. Shall I put him in a box for you? The saleslady asked. Oh, no, thank you, Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up the 4 flights of stairs, into her family's apartment, and straight for her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed, just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. Oh, remember department, a small section, right? This must be home, he said. I know I've always wanted a home. Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. I like you the way you are, she said, but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened. You must be a friend, Corduroy said. I've always wanted a friend. Me too, said Lisa, and gave him a big hug. That was such a nice story. I hope you liked it as much as I did. Now remember, 2 words that we were thinking about the whole time was department. It's a small section of the store, right? Corduroy lived in a small section. And escalator, the stairs that move up and down. I hope you enjoyed reading this story. Now go ahead and tell your family members the words that you learned while we read it. See you later.